Waiting, waiting, waiting. Waiting, 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 waiting. All right, guys. Hi, I'm Overland, and it is November 25th, 2019. Hi, sister. Tala. So, I just got back from our war Thanksgiving dinner, and I haven't mentioned it for a while, but I'm in the single adults that are from the ages of 31 and up. And our thought today is what I learned yesterday in church, which was about our speaker was from the state council, and he brought up how people are so afraid of being vulnerable and making a human connection, and also how that hinders them to be better and to thrive in growing in their relationship and whatnot. And so I wanted to talk about human connection and also how that played into tonight. So, hi, Kitty. So I went to this and no expectations, just going because I need to get out of my house. For those who are mothers, it was one of those days that you're just like every little thing is gonna set you off. And so I was needing space, but space with other people that are my peers. So I was adamant about going, and I went, and I had so much fun. I'm in a Palangi ward, and there's just so many different people, and so I was people watching, but also catching up with our first counselor, Robin, first counselor's wife, Robin Larkin, and we were just laughing about a lot of things. And what I noticed is I tested two different things. So I laid back and just like watched everybody and saw how they interact. And then the thought that crossed my mind was I was scanning the room of who wasn't really interacting with people, and it could be they were tired from work because we just had it at 6:30. It could be a lot of things, but what I've noticed was that they were very submissive to being within themselves and not really putting themselves out and trying to connect with people, or it almost looked like they were waiting for somebody to connect with them. And then halfway through the dinner, I was like talking because I would have just spent my whole dinner with Sister Larkin because she cracks me up, and I love her to death. But I had to push myself out of that because the activities aren't there for us to hide behind our bishopric. The activities are there so that we can interact with each other and make that human connection. And so, as soon as I stopped, like clinging to Sister Larkin like a safety blanket and whatever, I went and I met a few new people, and it's not hard for me to talk to people. That's not hard. What's hard for me sometimes is that when in conversation with people, I don't ever know if I'm adding value, and that's what stresses me out sometimes when I'm in conversation with people, because my personality is that I always, no matter what, want to make an impact. I don't want to have empty conversations. I don't want to deliver empty words. Like whatever I say, I want it to have substance. And so if you the message today is, if you are the type of person that is always in your head when you're in social gatherings or when you're just within your own family, if you cause yourself anxiety, or if you were diagnosed with anxiety about communicating, I would highly suggest that you you just start small. Maybe you just start with smiling at somebody at a gathering. You don't even have to talk. Just push yourself to go to a gathering, and the goal is, okay, today I'm going to smile at somebody. And then the next gathering, okay, today I'm going to smile and introduce myself to somebody. And I promise you, as you make those steps and pass every level, you will see that your presence helps somebody else. You will start to see that your your willingness to get out of your comfort zone and to be vulnerable helps somebody else to want to come back to that gathering, because that's when you start to see your tribe. So I've been in this ward for since March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Oh my gosh, 8 months. I've been in this ward, and I remember when I first started coming, I started seeing who would come to me because I made them feel comfortable. Half the time I didn't want to smile. Half the time I didn't want to be there because I was going through stuff at home, or I was just lazy. I was super lazy in July, June, July, no, July, August. I mean, I was starting to be super lazy because I went so strong when I came into the ward. And then being there tonight and then having a good talk with one of my good friends, Peter, on our way home, I just saw that, like, man, human connection is vital, vital. Now, can I improve in my personal life? Human connection rolls with my family all the time, all the time. But I'm not going to beat myself up on that spectrum because that is a weakness. But I am going to concentrate on my strength of being in public and be with other people, cultivate that as the power source, so that when I do go where I struggle, I can pull from there, pull from my friendships that I've had outside of my home. So I hope you guys get a lot of value of what I've said, and that you take it into tomorrow and you start to picture yourself hitting every level. Start with a smile, go to an introduction, go from introduction to share maybe a hobby or ask them for a hobby. A speaker said one time, they're like, you'll be the favorite person of a group when you make it about that group, those individuals, and not make it about yourself. They will flock to you because they know that you really want to know them. And so you have to be genuine. You can't be like ingenuine about that. And so, yeah, I, prior to going, it was a rocky day, but going, it just made me realize how much why I love people, why I love being a social butterfly, why I love my ward. My ward is literally, aside from you guys being a source of strength to look to, my ward is my lifeline. And I'm so grateful. There's so many people in there that don't even know how much they helped me by them just showing up. And one of my favorite influencers out here, DeMar Jones, said it today in his live. He said, you can't just show up. Like, showing up is awesome, but show up with something. Show up with not only your why, but show up with purpose. From what I got, the purpose part is like my own words, but his life just really reminded me, like, yeah, I can brag all day long that I show up, but if I don't show up with value and show up with substance, then what was the point? So if you've mastered showing up, awesome. Add value to that. If you've had that like mastered, then teach people how to be a person of substance and value, and not only showing up but having a good attitude about it. And so happy Thanksgiving early. I'm going to say happy Thanksgiving all day, every day this week, to remind you guys that your life is not as bad as you feel it is. If you look at your blessings and you work on your weaknesses. I'm doing it every day, working on my weaknesses. And so I love you guys, and we will talk tomorrow.